Here we
Quarantine.
go, baby.
Quarantine.
Yeah, here we go, baby. Get
Quarantine.
your
Quarantine.
popcorn. Get your
Quarantine. Quarantine. Ah!
Here we go, baby. Get your popcorn ready podcast. You got your boy right here, your host T.O. and my other host
Hatch is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Quarantine up. Woo, woo.
We doing it. You know we quarantine. You got your boy. I'm my hair is a little long, but it's all good. I still look good.
Man, you know what? I ain't had a haircut. I think it's going on 3 months, and I'm gully right now. I'm like a bear, but I don't care though. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
All right. But we're gonna get cut right to it. We got our guy, Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals. This guy right here, I mean, he is like he has more lives than a cat. This guy's got more than 9 lives. This guy is, a stellar career. I don't know what year is this for this guy. I don't know what is it. He's like what?
Because his rookie year was 2004. He was the 3rd pick in the 2004 draft.
So this is his 16th, 15th or 16th year?
So this would be his going on his 17th year.
17th year? Oh my gosh. Hey,
this
guy right here.
This is the grandfather of them all. It's like Big Ben.
Yeah, he's the last of the Mohicans. And this guy right here, this guy is steadily putting up numbers, steadily being productive. I mean, you think about basketball players that have played and stayed with one team for the entirety of their career. Larry Fitzgerald is one of those guys. I mean, great character guy. I think he's been man of the year.
Yes, sir.
I mean, everything about this guy says first class, and I'm fortunate and blessed to have known this guy, know this guy.
Yeah.
We got Larry Fitzgerald coming to the show today, and I'm looking forward to chopping it up with him. And then again, he has a new addition in DeAndre Hopkins. He's now going to be playing with his quarterback Kyler Murray for year 2. Mm-hmm. We don't know if this is going to be the last year for this guy, because last year was supposed to be the last year.
He's hanging on.
Yeah, he's hanging on. So we're looking forward to talking to him.
Nephew was coming to the building, man. I met Fitzy when he was like 15, 16 years old. Like, he was our ball boy when I was with the Vikings, and he used to come around.
What?
Yeah, he was the ball boy, and we, hey kid, go do this, and hey kid, go do that. He was washing our cars and all that stuff during the
I did hear that.
Yep. And we used to go to his high school football games. And like I said, stand on the sideline, watch him do his thing. And there was something special about his athletic ability. But again, when you get to know Fitzy, and like I said, you know how he is. He's just a good character guy. And he was going to be successful throughout his career because of his character more than just his athletic ability. So yeah, I can't wait to have nephew come to the show. Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Subscribe on the Himalaya app, wherever you get your podcast. Coming up next. Yee!
No doubt.
Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast with the Echo. My man, the Echo. T.O. is in the building.
No, ain't no Echo.
My Echo today, boy.
Hey, you the 4th best receiver on this telecast right
here. Wow, with only 3 of us.
Exactly. You're the 4th best receiver out here. You know what I mean?
You know what?
We got our guy, Larry Fitz. No, what's your middle name, Larry? If not, I'm going to make up one. Larry Dwayne Fitzgerald.
You gonna give him a nickname? Larry Dwayne Fitzgerald is coming to the stage.
Yeah, I could probably Google it, but we're gonna keep it real. We got our guy Larry Fitzgerald in the building, entering his 17th NFL season.
Yes,
7-time Pro Bowler, 1st team All Pro in 2008, 2nd team All Pro 2009 and 11. 2-time NFL reception leader in 05 and 2016. 2-time NFL receiving touchdown leader. 08 and 09. Man, our guy Larry, he will catch everything but coronavirus. Fitzgerald is in the building.
Yeah, Fitzy in the building. What's up, baby?
Oh man, I'm chilling, just getting back in the house. Play a little golf today.
Right.
That's about the only thing I can do to keep my sanity at this point.
Hey, how many times you playing a week right now that you on quarantine?
I only play on days that end with Y right now.
Every day, all day.
Right.
So would you say that's your second sport? Like football's first. Would you say golf is your second probably favorite sport?
No, I would say definitely golf is my favorite probably at this point, man.
Wow.
I never sore. You know, you wake up on Monday mornings.
Yeah.
Everything broke down. I gotta slide out of the bed. You know,
yeah.
Golf a little bit more leisurely, but the pay is nowhere as good.
How is your golf game, Larry?
No, I'm solid. I'm probably about a 3 handicap right now. I've been able to play a lot, so been able to work on it.
You going pro after NFL? What
no
you gonna
chance.
do? No chance? They too good?
Dudes are too good.
But you got time, though. You got another five years to get right.
I don't think you really understand, Hatches. That would be like a dude coming off the street and just playing in the NFL.
In the league, right.
Well, he knows that himself, so he knows how that is. He can't come up here. He played. He barely play anyway. He can relate.
Hey, see, Fitz, you don't listen to him, dog. You know what I'm saying? He feeling real confident right now. That's all. He feeling real confident right now.
Larry, he can relate. He can relate. So that statement that you're about to make,
relate. It
does not apply to him. Well, it does apply to him because he can't just.
You know what? He can't be a hater all his life, Fitzy. You know what I'm saying? He just he go do what he can, dog. He go do what he can, man. No, we appreciate you coming to the show today, man. Again, we just want to kind of catch up with you. We know you're going on year 17, and you're the grandfather of the NFL right now. Now, how's the journey been? You know, because again, going into year 17 is way different than going into your first couple of years. How's this journey been for you?
It's been great, man. I think as a child, you know, you always you grow up and you know you emulate guys like yourselves. Obviously, you know, working with you every single day. You know, when I was a child in training camp and forging that relationship, seeing with the hard work and you know being a 7th round pick from Langston and having to fight and scratch for everything that you had. And I remember just so happy for you when you got that contract down in Jacksonville, man, being out there. And so, I mean, like those type of relationships, those are the memories that I had as a child, and be able to see you guys work the way you worked up close and personal really gave me a like a once in a lifetime perspective, because it was something I really wanted to do. And most kids grow up and they want to do this or they want to do that, but they don't get a chance to actually see it. It would be like a child being able to watch your dad as an orthopedic surgeon go in there and do knees and like get that in-person experience. And that's what made it so unique for me. But it also was an eye-opener because I knew if I wanted to play at this level, this is the standard. This is John Rando every day coming to work, you know, Chris Doman, Matthew Hatchett, Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper, Robert Smith. I mean, these are the guys that I had to emulate. This is the work ethic that I had to see. And then obviously getting a chance to watch T, do his thing, in San Francisco and Philly and Cincinnati and Baltimore. I mean, like, you know, those are the type of things I always dreamed about doing and emulating you guys.
Mm-hmm. So again, you know, you're kind of like the bigger receiver, you know, and right when you were coming in the league, that's kind of, they were transitioning over. Who was some of the guys outside of, you know, the Viking receivers? I tell T all the time, like we were the big receiving core, you know, but like who are some of the guys outside of the Vikings receiver core that you looked at and kind of emulated your style after?
Well, being a ball boy, I got a chance to watch up close and personal. So I always loved like Herman Moore. Herman Moore was, 6'5". He can go up and attack the football. And, Antonio Freeman was really crafty up in Green Bay. I really like Keyshawn Johnson down in Tampa. I got a chance to see all those guys twice a year. And
JJ Stokes.
JJ Stokes.
Long guy. Long, rangy.
And T, I mean, you somebody I always emulated too. Man, I feel like, you always played the game with such a terrific passion and desire, just so competitive in everything that you did. You took great disrespect for somebody trying to step up to you, impress you, and I love that competitiveness. And I told you this a while ago. I mean, all the great plays that you made throughout your career. I mean, I think the one play that you made for Garrison Hurst when you blocked for him for like 60 yards down the field, just bring his touchdown, exemplified I think that you're a true football character, because a guy who was selfish and didn't care about his teammates wouldn't put it all on the line for something that wasn't only going to be beneficial to him. So like those type of plays really stick out to me. I mean, everybody remembers the catch up the seam, against
the Giants,
the Packers.
The Packers.
Packers one. Okay.
Packers, like those type of plays, obviously those plays go down in history as some of the best ever be made, in the playoffs and the implications behind it. But like those are real grit plays that I remember on that block. And, those are the things that I remember and I always try to emulate.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Going into your 17th season, as Hatch mentioned, what are your expectations? Like, do you going into your 17th season? Do you obviously you have a young quarterback in Kyler Murray going into a second year? You now have another threat on the other side of you in DeAndre Hopkins. What are your realistic expectations going into this season? Because like I said, you've been to the Super Bowl once. I've been there once. We both came up short. Like, are there realistic expectations that you guys can, number one, get to the playoffs and then really compete for a championship, the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, you look around the league, the National Football League, the teams that are able to compete at a high level, you see that are playing deep into the playoffs, all have prolific passers, right? You look at the Green Bay Packers playing deep into the playoffs last year. Look at the San Francisco 49ers with the maturation process. Jimmy Garoppolo playing deep into the playoffs. You look at Lamar Jackson. You look at obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. These teams are playing deep into the playoffs. Seattle Seahawks. I mean, these guys, because they have prolific passers, and we got a dynamic young talent in Kyler Murray that's going to be unbelievable for years to come. He's the rookie of the year, and it's only going to continue to get better and better, develop a voice and become a good leader in our locker room. And, we're surrounding him with great weapons, continue to improve in our offensive line. We got a great two really dynamic backs, and obviously our receiving core got a lot better with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. I'm really excited about our team expectations. From a personal standpoint, my expectations for myself never change. The older you get, people's expectations of you change because they think as you get older, there's things that you can't do. But I look at myself as a more complete player than I was when I was, 25 or 26. I can do more. I can still go outside and I can still run routes. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I can still go outside the numbers and run routes and win. But now I can go inside and I can do things that I never was able to do when I was in my prime. I felt like going inside was disrespectful because I couldn't. And not so much easier to get catches inside if you're able to recognize and read defenses, to understand fronts and see what teams are trying to do to you. I mean, before the plays even called, I can look at the safety, I can look at the hand signals and tell what coverage I'm getting. It's quarters. Okay, we got the sail route. This is going to be easy. Make sure you stick them out breaking route. It's going to be, I know this before the snap. And so I'm a much smarter player. I know how to block much more efficiently and effectively. And so, I mean, it's just a completely different game for me now. Things I've slowed down, but the game is slowed down as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a mental game now. And again, you guys, of course, I don't want to leave out your boy Christian Kirk. Again, he's a dude too. So for you guys have three receivers who can really go get it. But now you're not the number one. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're the number one because it doesn't change in your mind. You're the number one, but you have a guy on the other side of you that is what you were doing in your prime, and you've never had that. Is there going to be any change as far as how you look at that, though?
No. I'm elated to have somebody who can go out there and win one-on-one matchups individually.
It just helps you out.
Yeah, I know there's going to be times in the game where he's going to be double teamed and triple team trying to take him away. There's going to be opportunity for other guys to step up. I mean, I'm at the point in my career where it doesn't really matter, who gets the reception. I just want to go out there and win. I want to be able to compete. I have catches, I have yards, I have touch. I mean, I have every individual accolade that you could personally want. Now, as T said, we played in the Super Bowl, but I don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, because I mean, Moss would get double teamed and Chris would get double teamed, and I was like, I'm 1-on-1, so I figured I would get the ball, but yeah, it never happened. So you go see some 1-on-1 though this year, dog, for the first time in your career.
Hey man, so I saw your phone was ringing. Was that our guy, Mr. Robert Sarver?
No, that wasn't him. That was another one of my partners coming over. We just chilling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell Mr. Robert sorry I said what's up. You know
I will for sure.
Tell him don't forget about me. You know what I mean? I know it's been a minute since I've been to AZ. Don't forget
you
about
always
me.
got a place out here, man. You always got a place. You can come out here and get your eyes dotted like you did last year at Apollo's birthday party, man.
Wow, there it is, huh?
Hey,
Tell the truth, huh?
It's
according to him. T, let him tell the story.
T always talking about he could play basketball, this and that. You know me, I'm a quiet cat. I don't really do all that talking. I just let my plates be talking, and I busted him wide open out there. It wasn't even close, man.
You know what? I believe because the much talking that he does about his basketball game, I never see wins. So
Larry, this is what we do in 2020.
Is he lying? Is he lying though?
Larry,
is he lying? Is he lying? You don't know what he's saying.
Is this what we're doing right now in 2020? We just lying to people.
Hey, we just trying to tell them.
That's what I remember, T. That's what
Larry.
I remember.
So what happened then, T? What happened?
Dog. Hey, Hatch. Oh, have mercy, Jesus. Lord have mercy. I'm finna pray for you. I'm finna pray for you, Larry. Larry, we just gonna lie like that? Hey, Hatch. We was in Mr. Sarver's house, and he has the court from the All-Star game in his house. So I'm just out there stroking. Oh, dude, I don't know who was the dude in there that was in there. He just kept giving me the ball. I went all around that court, bro. I'm talking about straight panties. I'm talking about nylon. I'm talking about and these were NBA threes. Larry, am I lying, Larry?
Yeah, you did that thing, but the horse game wasn't like that though.
So what horse game are you talking about, man?
So y'all played horse.
He was knocking down some uncontested shots when nobody's around him. But like
which anybody can do, right? Anybody can do that.
You heard what he just said, right?
He had none of that.
You heard what he just said, uncontested. What do you think horse is? Horse is uncontested. So what do you think?
It turns into a competition, though. Horse is competition.
It got bad for him, actually.
Oh, the truth. I'm glad you told us that, see, because according to this dude, he thinks he's the nicest dude, in the NBA.
I'm the nicest.
And I've never seen it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm the nicest dude on here.
No, you're not. You're the third.
I'm better than you.
This guy's second. This guy's third. I hope I'm pointing the right way.
What? Yeah, that's right. You don't even know what you're doing. I already know.
You know what?
This guy over here is trash, Larry.
Hey,
trash.
But again, once you start playing, he gonna be donk. He can shoot it when nobody's around. Yeah, he can shoot. You.
First of all, I tell you what, both of y'all sound ridiculous because I got NBA cats. First of all, I got NBA cats that can vouch for me. So whatever you saying on this thread doesn't even make sense to me.
Fitz,
none.
I told
none.
Him. See, he don't want to hear the truth. The truth is the NBA dudes be lying to him. They be like, you can play, T, you can play. They know he can't play. And T be thinking like it's really him. I'm like, first
of all, I don't need them to vouch for me.
You just said I got some NBA dudes that's gonna tell me I'm going. They ain't gonna tell you nothing.
Right. Because I'm gonna bring somebody with some credibility to the table that's gonna really vouch for my skill set. Man, you play like, man, your game is like a bag of potato sacks.
So one person who does have an eye for NBA talent is the new NBA owner, Mr. Fitzgerald. Tell us about that. Owning a little bit of piece of the Phoenix Suns you own it now. Tell us about how that
and Mercury too, right?
And the Mercury, yeah, both, right?
Yeah, don't let him cheat you, Larry. Don't let him cheat your paper, dog.
It's okay. I'm not tripping now, but like T told you earlier, I have a very good relationship with the owner, Robert Sarver. We developed a really strong relationship over the last 10 years. And, he asked me if I wanted to come on board. And, I thought he was joking initially because like opportunities is like that don't just happen.
Absolutely. Right.
And so, the Lord moves in mysterious ways and presented me with an opportunity that, I just felt like it was great. It was great to be allowed, not only be a part of the ownership group, but just learn, operations behind the scenes and, watching the analytics and seeing, what, Jermaine Jones and James Jones and other, guys on our staff see in players and how they evaluate. And it's been a really, really interesting learning curve and it's been eye-opening for me. And it gives me a greater appreciation for the sport than I thought we would. loved watching basketball, and to be able to be that close to it is a lot of fun.
Speaking of, I mean, I think this is a great topic to have because, like you said, I mean, you're a minority owner, and obviously there's some news, that's been in the. There's a lot of hoopla that's been in the news this week about the Rooney Rule, and obviously, there's some conditioned draft picks for minority coaches and things of that nature. I think, obviously, like I said, the NFL has a long way to go. Just from the standpoint of where you are and where you've positioned yourself. And I think what it really boils down to, and I heard some guys speak on it today, is ideally the owners have to be receptive and bring in people of color, into those ownership roles. And I think that's where it's going to change because of the 31 owners, the 32 owners in the National Football League, it's majority white. And so for somebody, yeah, so majority, but that's what I'm saying. I think that's where the issue lies, is because if they're not familiar with you, if you're not of their color, their surroundings, then you have to be voted in. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be tough for, anybody of color to break that barrier. So I think what you've done, and I think obviously a credit to Robert Sarr, but I think it has been established with the friendship that you mentioned over the number of years. Like I said, this has been a 10-year building of a relationship for him to even be comfortable. And as you said, you didn't think this was possible. You thought he was just playing. But as you stated, just the relationship that you established with him, obviously there was something that he saw in you. You've instilled some trust in him for even him to even consider you for that role. So I commend you on that. And I think, honestly, the NFL, the owners, they need to take a page out of Mr. Robert Sarver's book.
Well, I mean, T, that's a valid point. And, it does take, somebody taking a chance, giving you an opportunity. And that's right for me. But, I mean, I see it with the Atlanta Falcons, Mr. Arthur Blank gave, Warrick Dunn an opportunity to be a minority owner down there. I mean, so it happens. A lot of times it's not publicized, but I think there's more and more, guys getting opportunities. And, I think the more guys get in those positions, they do well, they're able to help their organizations, the more opportunities will present themselves. And another thing is, I mean, T, you see the skyrocketing numbers that these organizations are worth. And I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of capital commitment to even get a seat at the table. I mean, the own NBA team is going to cost you $2 billion. I mean, that's going right now. NFL franchises are around the same, if not more expensive. So even if you're given the opportunity to be a minority owner, you're talking about writing a check for $40 or $50 million. And it's just not a lot of guys walking around that are liquid $40 or $50 million that have the ability to put $40, $50 million in a deal that doesn't even cash flow, so it takes a monumental commitment to get involved, but you have to understand that it's a long journey in terms of, finding success and helping your team win. I mean, because there's no exact science to winning. I mean, the Patriots made it look easy for the last,
10 years or so.
15. But and then, you look at the dynasty the Chicago Bulls had. We watched The Last Dance over the last month or so. And, people get lost in the fact that there's been a few people that have been able to do it, but that is not easy to have sustained success. And, just trying to look at things differently and trying to have, positive and constructive feedback to, to try to help out and help with the things that you've been successful with and to get a different voice in the room. And, I've been very fortunate that, my opinion on things, they listen and they actually give me the chance to sit in and understand and learn the business. And so I've been blessed with a great opportunity. And I think more of those will be coming for other people.
Now, leaving from, do you want to one day leave basketball and go into the NFL ownership, or you're not even thinking along those lines right now? Yeah, you are.
But I think what he just mentioned is a process. And I think what he's doing with the NBA, establishing himself as an owner, well, he will be able to leverage that trust, obviously, making that transition into the National Football League. And so I think, once again, somebody as Robert Sarver has done, give him the opportunity, then that's where I think the ball will start to rolling. But at this point, this given point in time right now, that it's not even possible because I don't think any of these owners, these white owners in the National Football League, are willing to give anybody of color an opportunity.
Well, T, I mean, I don't want to say that's necessarily true, because I do know quite a few owners around the National Football League very well who have mentored me over the years, that are not opposed to having minority ownership or part of their group, actually looking for it, just finding people that are qualified to do it. Not in terms of the integrity or the quality of human being, but that has the capital to be able to do it. And also the other part is tough is, like, you're investing such a large amount of money, but really don't have any say so, because you're not a principal owner. You don't have the ability to go out and say, hey, we need to make a trade at point guard, or we need to make a move at a coach, because you don't have that power as a minority owner. You just are literally a silent
at the table. You're at the table. That's
right,
it.
But to my point is that you may know a couple of guys. But as I said, it has to be
a whole lot. See,
no. That's what I'm saying. But it's a majority vote, though. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe not everybody. Everybody's not going to be receptive to that. So yeah, you may know a couple of guys here that may be exploring the idea or thinking about it. But at the end of the day, like I said, we know that there's going to have to be a majority vote amongst all the owners to bring somebody of color to the table.
Yeah. And again, if it's somebody of color, there's under 10 names that we know that made the amount of in liquid cash that can even sit at that table. And even all 10, they don't even want to be owner, because like you said, you're putting up 40, 50 million and you don't get no say so. You get a ticket to the game. Like, that's it. And for some of them, that's not good enough, because they want to come in and be like, I'm the boss. Like, you ain't the boss. You got 2%. So
well, but I think there were a few years back or more. I mean, I think they were talking about Diddy and some other guys. They were trying to put some capital together, I think, to become an owner. I don't know how close they got to that, but at
Carolina,
the same time,
Carolina,
right? Yeah, but at the same time, like, bro, they're gonna have to be voted in at the same time, so it doesn't matter.
Well, see, it would be like this, T. If you own a team versus that was worth, $2 or $3 billion, right? And a group of people came to you and said, hey, I have 20 guys that want to put in, 200 apiece, or you have one guy who can write you a check for cash.
Mm-hmm. Give me that one guy.
Now, would it be nice to have minority owners, and 10 different partners you have to deal with in the transaction, or just having to deal with one guy? I mean, so there's so many different variables and things you have to consider when you're selling the franchise. Do I think this guy is going to move my team? If I have a team in X city, I built this organization here. I want this organization to stay here. But he wants to see it move to a different. I mean, there's so many different things that you have to look at, when you're making those decisions. And I don't necessarily think race is always the deciding factor in it when they're making a decision. Is it possibly in there? Maybe, but I don't think that's the deciding factor.
Mm-hmm. And I think probably it's fair to say less of a part of it in basketball and more in football, just because the dynamic of where the NBA and NFL is.
You see, the NBA is a much more, their demographic and their followers are much younger. Much younger. You look at the NFL, their primary followers, you look at the 35 to 60-year-old range, right? The NBA is much more hip. It's associated much more with hip-hop culture, so you see newer, younger money in the game. You see younger tech ownership, things of that nature, new money. In the NFL is a lot more established guys. You look at organizations that have had, family ownership for years and years and years.
Right, but that all boils down to marketing, branding. It's not like NFL can't do the same thing that the NBA does. Because if you think about Larry, football makes more money than baseball and basketball combined. So you can't say that's the reason. Like I said, there are a lot of hip hop. There's a lot of people that can move that cultural that needle for the game of football.
Well, the business model is different. So you have to look at the business model of the NBA is they sell and push more often the players. They put the players in the forefront. You see James Harden, you see Greek the Freak, you see LeBron James, you see Kevin Durant. They put the players out front. The NFL markets the shield.
All about that NFL shield.
Team,
right.
And then the players. So
but that goes back to
it's the way they structure it, and and the NBA is much more of a global marketing machine. You know, you go to China, you go to India, you go to Africa, you go to South America. Do they particularly have a team that they follow? No. But there's a player that they really like, and they follow that player. You go to China, Kobe Bryant he's like a god in China. He's literally like a god over there. Everybody wants to wear his shoes and his jersey, and you know, and so do they particularly like the Lakers? No, but they love Kobe Bryant. It's much easier to market. You know, in the NFL, teams fall on. You grew up in Tennessee, and Hatch, you grew up in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure you rooted for the Cowboys when you were a child. You know, it's probably closest to.
I was the biggest Ohio. Yes, I was. The funny thing, I was the biggest Steelers fan growing up. But yeah, I get it.
You pulled for a team.
Yes,
that happened to have such and such and such and such, but you were a Steelers guy.
Yeah,
growing up in Tennessee, I mean,
Alabama. I'm Alabama over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. You grew up in Alabama.
Yeah, went to Tennessee, Chattanooga. Yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, you probably rooted for the Falcons. That's probably the closest team.
No, I didn't root for nobody. I didn't even follow.
He's not a football guy, Fitz.
I'm not even a football guy at all. I didn't even follow football, to be honest. But I think, you know, obviously to your point too, I think, yeah, the NBA has put the players at the forefront. But I think with the NFL, which is made up of 70+% minorities, I think that it's on the players now to put themselves at the forefront, you know what I mean, of this situation, because it can't always be the owners dictating everything. Right. So again, it's, you know, the players are doing themselves a discredit because of them not taking advantage and leveraging the power that they have. I think if you look at some of the very guys that you mentioned, the LeBrons, the Chris Paul, the James Hardens, these guys, they have collectively gotten out in front, you know, of the NBA to know that, and Adam Silver, he's very understanding that the league wouldn't be what it is without these players. It's a handful of these guys that will move the needle, but it's more guys in football of color that can do the same thing.
So let me ask you this, T. Let me ask you this.
Right.
So you're saying when Deshaun Watson comes up for his big deal, or even Patrick Mahomes, they're going to have so much leverage. You're saying that's their chance to be part owner of those organizations?
Yeah, absolutely. If they're business minded and have a business acumen to think that way, then of course they should be able to leverage, you know, some of what they're bringing to the table and what they've offered to that organization based on how they conduct themselves, obviously how they play. And then, like I said, you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's won them a championship. So they may be inclined to listen to any type of, business negotiation, you know, if need be.
But is that possible, Fitzy, you think? Is that possible, deal?
You can't be an owner while you are playing.
No, I'm talking about setting it up after, not actually during that time, but you know, somewhere, you know, at least planting the seed.
Planting the seed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's all. I mean, we're a lot further than we were in the 90s, obviously, you know, as far as ownership and people being in powerful positions. But again, I think it's gonna. You're right. The money that they talk about now, it's ridiculous. And again, even though the players are making so much money, it doesn't come close to what these organizations are worth. Like I said, you're talking about $2 and $3 billion, $4 billion, and for players to be making even $100 million over their career and only taking home 50, they don't have enough money to put into pro sports. You know, they just don't.
And speaking of, you know, Larry, I think, you know, we obviously know that you're on the tail end of your career. You know, just say you retire after next year, this year or next year, or what have you. So do you fully transition into that minority role that you have with the Phoenix Sun and spend more time on the basketball side?
Well, no, I don't know exactly if that's going to be what my primary role. But I would love if the opportunity presents itself to be, you know, a little bit more involved. You know, but I have a lot of different business ventures I'm doing right now. And
tell us about some of your other business ventures that you got.
Well, you know, I have a travel company, Nomad Hill, that I've been in ownership for over 9 years now, and you know, we've done it extremely well. And I'm very fortunate with the way we structure. We haven't, you know, been hurt in that business because a lot of people aren't traveling right now. But you know, we've been able to stay afloat. I'm in the hospitality business as well, retail development, I'm also investor in many different companies, through the venture space. So, I stay very active. I'm always reading and trying to acquire knowledge, going to seminars and doing briefings and going back to school. I'm always trying to reinvent myself because, when you become stagnant, you lose your creativity. So I always try to, get better and improve in any walk I can.
How much of that information are you passing along to like the younger guys? The younger guys come in, they think it's about spending money and, whatever, Instagram and Twitter and spending money on cars. But like I said, you have that background now. You've made money off the field and you have to kind of give that blueprint to some of these, guys coming in. So how's that been good for you?
Well, or you can be like Oprah, just be greedy and just keep all the money to yourself.
Oprah's not greedy at all, actually.
I'm just kidding. That's what Hat said. Hat said she was greedy.
No, that's not the case.
I'm telling you what Hat said. You want me to send you the text?
I ain't never gonna do a crime with you, T.
I'll send you the text, y'all.
If you knew Oprah and what she's about, I'm very close with Stedman Graham, like very close. I spend a great deal of time with him, one of the most knowledgeable men I've ever been around. And Oprah has one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen in my life.
Of course.
She does so many things that nobody even knows about. She truly invests in her people, and she makes me proud to know her family. She's a wonderful woman.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you that. Like I said, I want to dig a little deeper with that right there, because you get to talk to Oprah because you know Stedman, and you get to talk to some of these owners, and you get to find out that real blueprint of success. But what about the people out there who are 25, 30-year-old entrepreneurs who don't have a phone book like Larry Fitzgerald? Like, what do you say to those type of guys who are just trying to I have maybe, a good job and make good money, and I want to invest and be an entrepreneur, but they don't have the phone book that you have. So what's their blueprint for them?
Actually, I didn't have a phone book like Larry Fitzgerald until I had a phone book like Larry Fitzgerald.
You knew me. You knew me. So you was good.
I understood that you have to cultivate relationships. And every single really, really good friend I have that helps me understand business, they've been unbelievably receptive, which tells me that if you go to them seeking knowledge and understanding, you're willing to work. If they give you a project, I want you to go do this. I want you to read this book. I want you to do this. If they're giving you tasks to improve and make you better, it's no different than a coach telling me, Fitz, you want to run this curl route better? You need to run this route 1,000 times. You need to get the footwork perfectly right. If you get inside leverage, outside leverage, just the way you do it. And if they continue to give me these tidbits, I go out and I perfect the craft. Then they give me the next assignment. And that's what I've continued to do, and those relationships are built over years and years of trust and following through when you say you're going to do things. And that's how relationships are developed. No different than, with your quarterback running routes. The reason that, T was out there making them plays with Jeff Garcia is because they spent hundreds of hours, literally running routes and getting that continuity. That's the same approach as businessmen. They do the same thing. And so it just comes down to just putting in the time.
Yeah, I get that. And like I said, you have
a question earlier about the young guys. And I think it's important for me, because I'm in a different place in my life at 36, going into my 17th year than Christian Kirk or a Kyler Murray or a young guy. I don't necessarily think those guys should be as focused on
entrepreneurship you're right.
They focus on ball. This is what is your toast. Football is what should be most important to you. When you get that second contract, you still focus on football, but now you have the financial security now to start investing in yourself to be able to create those opportunities once football is done. I was singularly focused when I got in the league at 20 years old. I didn't care about anything else but, being productive and, achieving the individual goals that I had set for myself. I was, unbelievably intrinsically motivated to do that. And then as I got older, I realized that it was much bigger than me. It wasn't about me going out and get 150 yards and 2 touchdowns every week. That's great. But is that equating to us winning ball games? Not all the time. And so do I need to be a better blocker? Absolutely. Would that create more opportunities for me in the passing game? Yes. Once you understand holistically, conceptually what your team is trying to do, I think it gives you a better understanding of what you need to improve on across all levels.
Now, as an unselfish player as you are, has it ever kind of bothered you that you didn't have that one quarterback throughout your whole career, like a quarterback that was a 10-time Pro Bowl and you had for 10, 12 years? Because maybe your numbers would have been different, maybe not, but does other bother you at all?
You asking me or Larry?
Larry, I know it bothers you. I want to.
I wish I had
I know you do.
quarterback for the entirety of my career.
I don't really. It really doesn't matter to me. I mean, I never really approached the game like that. I'm thankful for every opportunity I've gotten, but I've worked for every opportunity I've gotten also. And life is like that. I mean, guys, have more fortune than others for some particular reason, and that's just the way it goes. And I never wanted to really compare myself to this guy, compare myself to that guy. That's what the media folks do. I just continue to work at my craft, work on being a better father, a better brother, things that I can improve on that are actually within my tangible grasp, right? And I think we get in trouble when we start worrying about, oh, this guy's making this money and I did this. That's when you start getting into the twilight zone where that stuff doesn't even, how does that affect you on a day-to-day? It doesn't. You don't really have any control of that. So why would you be taking yourself there mentally? So I think that I learned that early on. Who's throwing me to the ball, I have no control over who's throwing me the ball.
Right.
That's out of my jurisdiction. But what I can do, I know if I'm open, the percentage of me catching the ball and making plays are much higher. So that's kind of where I focus my attention.
That's where you should, because I know who you don't want throwing the ball, and that's that guy right there. You don't want him throwing you the ball.
Fitzy, I can throw it. I can throw it. That's what you know. I can throw this thing.
That's where you don't want.
Don't
be
mad.
Let's talk about this, man. What's as you, like I said, you're on the last stretch. As you exit your career, what does success look like? What makes Larry happy and content with walking away from the game? Because like I said, I know the last couple of years, that's been, sort of like the writing on the wall. And I'm not writing you off. I'm just saying, because I see and I understand where you are. And like I said, like for me, I wish I'd have been given the opportunity to kind of finish on my own terms. And obviously the Arizona Cardinals are affording you that opportunity to do that. So what does that look like, for Larry, as the curtain draw to a close?
Well, first of all, I don't really look at it like that. I think when you put those parameters, this is going to be it. This is going to be like when you start thinking like that, I think you put yourself in a mental place that you don't necessarily need to be. Is this going to be my last year? I don't know. I have no idea. So why would I concern myself with that type of thought process? All I really ever think about, is today I got to work out. It was a speed day. I'm gonna run 35 routes a day. I'm gonna get my work in. I'm gonna get my lift in. That's gonna make me that much better for when I line up, when I play against whoever I'm playing the first preseason game. And that's what I can control. That is what I have full control of. Everything else outside of that doesn't really matter because I don't have any control. Now I know if I put the work in the day and I go out there and I do what I've done over my entire career and make plays when the opportunity presents itself, I can still play at a very high level in the National Football League. This is what I know. This is what I've shown. And so for me to limit myself because of this and because of that, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't serve me either. So
and I only asked that too because like I said, I follow basketball, love it, and you saw Kobe do it. You saw Dwayne Wade do it. So you've seen these guys kind of give it, going in at just the last hurrah. I think Dwayne Wade, he kind of teetered back and forth his last couple of years, and he's like, this is gonna be my last year. Then he's like, this will be my last hurrah. So that's why I asked the question, because like I said, you have to be realistic about the situation in your future. So that's why I asked.
Yeah, no question. You do have to be realistic, and I've always taken that into account. And there's a reason why I've been able to stay in the same place and be able to kind of, you say, age gracefully, because I understood that my role changes. And I have to be fluid with how it changes, right? A couple years ago when BA he asked me to move inside and become more of a blocker, right? Had I done that before? No. But if I wasn't willing to do that, I wasn't going to be here. right? So you learn how to adjust and make yourself invaluable, right? When they see that you going in, you'll be unselfish and willing to do it. They say, you know what, man, we got to get this dude an opportunity because he's willing to sacrifice it here. And so now, there might be a sacrifice I might have to make on this year. Am I going to be willing to do it? Absolutely. Will I adjust? No question. And that's just how I kind of approach my life.
Like Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend.
That's
be
why
water.
I
already know.
Be water.
Hey, Larry Fitzgerald, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like I said, this is we just commend you on your career, but more importantly, like I said, then between the lines, as you know, it's what you do off the field that you're getting all the accolades, in my opinion. Success for you. Again, you got a lot more coming to you. I can be way more successful off the field than you are playing football, my friend. So we appreciate you coming on the show, baby.
Hatch, man, I'm still disappointed in you, though, man.
How you talking? What are you disappointed in me for?
You was over at the Pro Bowl, man. What was this, 2011, man?
Hey, no, tell him. Go ahead. Go ahead and tell it.
Hatch came on over, man, and he was hanging out with us for the whole week over there, and we went skydiving that week. And so it's like
I don't do that, T.
7, 8 of us. We up in the plane, T. In the plane. He got the jumpsuit, the parachute, everything. We all jump out the plane and Hatch get scared, dog.
No one goes to hey. But no, they talked me into going up in the plane, and I was like, I got up there and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing up here. Start to panic, and I was like, no, I'm not going.
And he had the nerve to go tell me while he go to my I can't rob a bank with you. I can't rob no bank with you. You ain't gonna go through with it. You try to call me out.
It's height. It ain't got nothing to do with robbing the bank.
It don't matter if we gonna do it. We all together. Hey, what did Michael Jordan say? All for one, one for all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You weak, dog.
But afterwards, like I said, this is after I retired. I haven't even ran in probably 5 years, listen, right?
He wet his pants though, and we was.
I did not. What are we talking about? Wait a minute. Wait. Fitzy, how you gonna be on here lying?
Nah,
you wet your pants. You was smelling like urine at the bottom. I felt bad for you. I felt bad for you. So he was like, Fitz, I bet you can't beat me in a foot race, right?
And I said, I bet you can't beat me in the 40.
I spotted him 5 yard. I gave him a 5 yard head start.
Oh, I believe that.
And he beat me. And I kicked him down. So
I tell you what. No, this boy. I was like, there ain't no way you gonna beat me in a 40, Fitz, right? So it was on just a regular old. Hey, I tell you, you won't neither. Right? We just had a little dirt road, whatever, like a little bit of concrete. We found the pad with 40 yards. And I was like, ain't no way you gonna beat me, Fitzy. We was like, bet 10 racks. And Fitzy's like, bet it down. I was like, all right, bet. I got down there and I was like, ain't no way in whatever that I'm gonna lose to Fitzy. Again, he was okay, but I was fast. I had my start. And I knew just because I hadn't ran doesn't mean I don't have my start. I took off on this dude. He started to catch me at the end. But them first 20, I was out, Fitz. And we had it on camera, and I wish I had it on camera still.
I beat him by like 2 yards.
You ain't gonna beat nobody, man.
Bet 10 racks. Bet me 10 racks. Bet me 10 racks. I won't beat you by 2 yards.
Butt naked too,
Hey, I stripped down to the skivvies. I stripped down to the skivvies. I was like, I gotta be light. In Hawaii over there, man. That was a good time.
Hey, speaking of that, when Larry played in that Super Bowl. When he caught that little slant, that's how he was running. Boy, he was running like his hair was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't going to tell a lie. Larry, I ain't never seen you run that fast, dog.
He never ran that fast,
dog. You took, bro, I don't know what you took. I don't know if you were just hype. You were just amped from that, just the Super Bowl. I know you were because we've played in the Super Bowl for, so I get you. He don't understand. That dude over there, he don't really understand. Hey, so I know that energy, dog. You know what? That ball, dog. Hey, Larry, you was up out of there, dog. Yeah. Dog, you was up out of there.
See, you seen that at practice last year when you came out and practiced with us that one day. I still got that gas, T. I still got that gas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got it now. And tell this child, hey,
got the burst.
He came with some instructional, he came out there and did his thing with us, man.
Hey, Larry.
Okay, all right. Larry, I'm sure he told y'all everything I told him. Because he don't know that.
Hey, Larry. Your coaches know I can still go, kind of Larry.
No question.
Still can go.
Got it.
Right now. You
were sore the next day, though.
He was so. He ain't gonna tell you. See what I'm saying? He ain't never gonna admit it. He was sore, Fitzy.
I was working out. The next day. What are you talking about?
He had to borrow some cleats. You know, you can't go out there and practice with some brand new cleats on. He had to go some brand new joints.
Your feet gonna be hurting.
Hey. Oh yeah, now my feet were sore. Yeah. That's what was so, bro. Them shoes weren't even broken in, dog. My feet was barking the next day. But speaking of the Super Bowl, I remember. I don't know if you remember. I met you at.
I met you and Pablo in the hotel that night, man. It was we had switched.
Yeah, tell the people about it. Yeah,
we was switching hotels. We didn't tell us nothing. And so Saturday after walkthrough, they just said pack a day bag. We got back to the hotel, pack a day bag. We moving. I'm like, so they moved us to a different hotel. And as we were coming in, he was getting in the streets that night. So I seen him and Pablo. They was walking by, and we sat down and we chopped it up. And he kind of said, "Look, this is some of the things that I was thinking about when we played the Patriots, down in Jacksonville, and." He was coming off the broken ankle. Nobody knew he was going to even, be able to play, and went out there and did his thing like he always does. And he was kind of talking to me about the mindset that's going to be required to play at that level and to be able to have the sustained success. Don't let the moment be too big for you. And so all that was really big for me to be able to get that kind of tutelage and that kind of knowledge the night before the game. So big bro, I appreciate that, man. And I know you had I know you had a good time that night. You looked like you was about to go turn up.
Oh man, no doubt. We was in.
He was out till 8 in the morning. I guarantee.
Yeah, we was at Tampa. Hey, boy,
he was out till 8 in the morning.
Was it Ybor City or somewhere like that?
Ybor City.
Man, I was in them streets.
And how long? Hey, how long ago was that? That was what? 2000 what?
It was 2008 season. 2009. It was February 2009.
2009, and I bet he got an 11-year-old right now. I'm gonna leave it just right there.
Let y'all
think about that.
Nah.
You got an 11-year-old somewhere in Tampa right now.
Nah.
Already.
Says the guy that peed on himself that didn't want to jump out the airplane.
Why do you say that?
Dog, I can't. Dog, you left that out. Dog, you peed on yourself.
I left that out because it never happened. I don't even know what
you peed on yourself, dog. I can't believe. Grown ass man, dog.
I gotta get Patrick Peterson on the show so he can set the story straight. That's messed up, Fitzy. That's all right, dog. We appreciate you coming on to Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast, fam. Love you, brother.
All right, good to see y'all, man.
All right, my man. No do your thing. Stay safe, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. So that's Larry Fitzgerald on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Yo, nephew.
Yeah.
That's a good dude, man. Like I said, good character guy. Everything he's done on the field, again, it's. I appreciate the way he's handled it. Because again, you know how we're receivers, right? We know how diva-ish we can be, and it just that part of it for him, it just never came out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys. Obviously, just you hear people say the consummate pro, a pro's pro, and he's one of those guys. I mean, obviously, it's going to continue to play and has had a hellified career. But yeah, I mean, you can't ask more of a guy like that. And then that's the thing. Like sometimes, good things happen to good people, and just to speak on his career and some of the business ventures that he's been able to establish, and then again, just establishing a relationship with prominent people that have showed him the way, paved him the way. And then obviously, like I said, he can pass that on to some of the younger guys.
Yeah. And I think let's talk about our 3 and out, like our 3 and out segment where we talk about the 3 points that, we want to bring up that we got from the interview. And again, for me, number one is the ownership piece, because again, you're sitting in the room with the owners, and as a young African-American male, you want to be like, I'm going to tell the world. I'm an owner of a professional sports team in America. I'm the dude. But it's really not like that, right? If you're going to be a professional minority sports owner, you're at the table and you're not making no big money. It's not for you to be on Twitter. It's not for you to be on the court shooting, or anything like that. It's really about, being behind the scenes, learning and knowing in 5 to 10 years, that's how long this learning curve is going to be. And
he's not Mark Cuban by any means.
No, not at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny to say, it's funny how it's going to sound to be a humble owner, but that's what owning a pro sports team is at our age. And I think that's why you don't see a lot of the younger athletes trying to be in ownership, because it's not going to be nothing sexy about it. It's not going to be cool.
Right.
You know, you're not on social media talking about I'm the owner. You're going to sit back, you're going to learn, and you're going to help the organization from a back seat.
Right. Yeah. And I think the number two for me, I think, would be just that I asked him about, you know, obviously, you know, sort of like a farewell, you know, tour, or just his thinking process of this possibly, you know, what is he looking at as the curtain closes? But he said he's not really looking at it to close. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. I think our third thing for 3 and Out was the advice he gives like rookies and second year kids. You know, it's like he's not going to tell, because again, he's made so much money off the field. He's doing all these business ventures off the field. But at the same time, first year guys and rookies, third year guys, they need to focus on their craft. So that's what he's telling them. And even when you get your first contract, now you can branch out a little bit, but still focus on your craft, because that's what's getting you paid. That's what's going to make you this money. And I think that's very good.